Think you can read the room? Oh, there you go. Read the room. I love that. Read the room. This show is about the people who navigate this for a living. I got this. Designers, entrepreneurs, and creative minds who do it all day long. I'm Erin Haskell. Let's read the room. Today I am here with Bradley Irion, stylist to the stars. Cheersies. How are you, Bradley?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're here.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
I know. I'm so glad that we're finally doing this.
I know. We've been talking about it for a while.
Yeah, we have. Not really at all, actually.
I just texted you and you said yes.
Yeah, I was drunk at the lake. You know, it's a thing.
Where do we even begin? Where do you want to begin?
I don't know. Like, I guess we can talk about like how we met.
Well, okay.
Because it's one of my favorite stories.
I was maybe 17 at the time. I was working at Nordstrom.
That's right.
And 7 jeans had just come out.
Yeah.
God, they were good, weren't
Custos.
they? Custos.
Sergio Valente.
Sergio
That's one of my
Valente
favorites.
jeans.
Yeah.
That was after 7 jeans.
Yes, that's right.
And then they had the nice, the flare.
Yeah, the boot cut.
The boot
That
cut.
was like the Tom Ford era of boot cut. Because remember, Gucci did
Yes.
that first season of like the slight cut that just went over the boots.
Yes.
And no man's pant in Spokane, Washington had it. Like nowhere sold it. So I had to go up to Savvy. And thank God I was so young and thin. And I bought it from you.
But yes, Savvy at Nordstrom
It was a spot.
That was a spot.
That was a spot.
That was a
Spokane.
spot.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah,
And the jeans, the denim were just coming into its own.
it was.
And I was
it
like,
was becoming a suit.
It was. And I was like, who's that beautiful man? It was you.
The hot mess.
So, I mean, I think we're just going to squirrel a little bit
Sure,
because
I like it.
that's what's so fun about this. So, okay, you grew up in Spokane.
Right.
Where'd you go to high school? You know, that's everyone's
Went to
first
Lewis and
question.
Clark.
Of course you did. LC
Yeah.
Tigers number
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
So you graduated from LC, and then what'd you do?
So then I went to, actually I graduated from LC. I was working at a temporary firm, and I can't even remember what it was called, but like they set you up with temporary jobs. So you might work at it's like a temp agency.
Temp agency, yeah.
So I worked when I worked.
Okay.
And that summer, and then my mom really wanted me to go to college.
Okay.
And when I was in high school, my senior year, I took the Skills Center and did cosmetology hours.
Yes. Skill Center's awesome, by
It was
the way.
amazing. And it really helped kind of focus me into wanting to be a hairdresser. So I did that and went to, my mom wanted, I went to Spokane Falls because she wanted me to like get into maybe graphic design.
Okay.
So I
She
went
thought
into graphic design.
you're
She thought,
artsy.
get at least get your BA or your whatever and get your college degree. And then if you want to be a hairdresser after that, that's great.
Sure.
Of course, that didn't work for me. I went to, the Falls for like a minute and ended up dropping out and enrolled myself into Christine's beauty school division. And they were like able to roll the Pell Grant from the Falls into the beauty school. So it was easy.
And so, like, not that this even matters, but like when you went to high school, did you like school? Were you into the like academia, or you were like
No,
whatever? Okay.
I wasn't. I was never a great student.
Okay. Well, because you're smart.
But I showed up.
You showed up,
I showed up. Like I wasn't somebody that skipped class a lot.
Okay.
Because I've always been one of those people that even though I sometimes like to skirt on the fringe, I like to do the right thing.
Read the Room is sponsored by HardwareHut.com. Since 1995, HardwareHut.com has been offering high-quality hardware online to builders, interior designers, project managers, and homeowners just like you.
I have a hard time with that.
You went to Chris, and how long was beauty school?
So beauty school was 1,600 hours back then. I don't know what it is now. It might be 2,000, but
Okay.
back then it was 1,600 hours. It like pans out around like a year and some change.
Okay. And then what?
And it's 40 hours a week. So you're literally working there 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You're paying them to do it. So
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
doing perms and all the things. Like
Perms.
you're working
Oh my
in a,
God.
yeah.
Yes. Will those ever come back?
Yeah, I think perms have come back. They just are in Asia right now and haven't quite made it back to the
I
States.
feel like they will come back.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I love you. Listen, I think perms are really cool. They're interesting and sort of fun to do. My only issue with perms is they stink,
Okay.
and I don't like them in my workspace because they just
Sure.
sort of it's like fake nails.
Okay.
You remember the old acrylic
Oh,
nails?
I sure do.
It's
I used
just
to
kind of like
sleep.
it
I used to
gets
sleep
in.
like this when someone would do the
Right,
nails.
but
Yeah.
like perms are like the acrylic nails, but they smell like farts when they're in the air, and I just can't stand it.
Really? Why not?
Yeah, I just don't know. Guess I'm single. It's not having it. Not ready to mingle.
Okay. We'll come back to the perms because I really want to like dive into that.
Yeah.
And I will.
Yeah, I think it's a thing.
It is. Because everything comes back around in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then after that, then where'd you go?
So I went to beauty school and then I got a job. So 3 months before I got out of school, I went down to a salon that was on Post Street called Solano Post.
Solano Post.
And it's where the man that owned it was Jerry Geyer. And it was a downtown salon. It was on Post Street, just across the street from
in the
Nordstrom.
big city.
Yeah, in the big city.
Yeah.
I really wanted to work there because it was the cool spot to work.
Okay.
And my friend Terry worked there.
Okay.
So
yes,
I went down. I got that job lined up 3 months before I got out of school. He said, well, the minute you get out of school, come down here. So the minute I got out of school, I got in my shitty yellow Nova, drove it downtown, parked
Amazing.
it. It was like smoking. That car was such a piece of shit. And got out. And he was actually just leaving for lunch. I said, oh, Jerry, I said, it's Bradley. Hey, I just got out of school. I'm ready to start.
What did
So
he say?
he sent me in to go talk to the receptionist. I filled out a work application and I started the next day.
Look at you.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Okay. Yeah. You just knew.
I did.
And what age were you? Like 18?
Yeah, I was like 19 at the time. So I went in, I read through, like they gave me this manual. And of course, like I've got ADHD and,
Ditto.
probably a little dyslexic. So I skimmed through. I was like, oh, this looks great. Sign here. Here's my social security number.
Yes.
To start, the next day I show up for work and I'm wearing blue jeans. And Terry stops me and she goes, did you read the policy manual? And I go, yeah. I totally read the policy manual. And she goes, well, if you read the policy manual, then you would have seen that jeans are only on Saturdays. And it was like a Wednesday.
Whoops.
Yeah. So I learned then to read the small print.
Oh, you did?
Take your time just to like do it right.
Well, that's good. A lot of people,
Yeah.
I mean, at 19 to learn to
It was
read the
a
small
quick
print.
one, right? Over jeans.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what'd you do there? Anything?
So I was an assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. And I worked there for a couple months and then they decided to close that salon. They owned both that salon and a salon called 30th Off Grand up on the South Hills. So we ended up consolidating the two. So Terry, Gloria, Tony, I think Laura Lee was a girl's name, and Mark, they went off to another place. And but the few of us then went up and we consolidated it
to 30.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that was the place growing up.
That was a spot. Yeah,
That was a
it
spot.
really was. It was like a South Hill staple.
Yes.
And
yes.
so I worked there I was an assistant for like a year and a half, probably, but started taking clients at a year.
Yeah.
But still shampooed along the way.
Sure. And what year was that?
That would have been 91.
Oh, look at you. God.
91, 92, yeah.
Okay. And then what year did you start taking your own clients?
If I got out of school in 90 and I went into beauty school, probably it's probably 92.
92.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then how long were you there for?
And I was there for 5.5 years.
Okay.
And then at that point, Terry and Stephanie started their own salon downtown called Salon Nouveau. So
Salon
I went
Nouveau.
with them. Everyone kind of left Jerry.
Okay. Left Jer Bear.
Yeah. He was ready to kind of scale down.
Sure.
And, people had gone over to Salon Grand. They'd started that. And Terry and Stephanie wanted to start Salon Nouveau downtown. So I went down there with them.
Okay. Okay. So you saw a lot of people come and go.
And I wanted to get downtown.
Yeah.
Really that was the spot to be.
You wanted to be
in the
downtown.
South Hill. I was bored.
Right. Yeah. You were
Young.
you were young. You
Yeah.
wanted to be downtown, of
Yeah.
course. And so now, what was your nightlife back then? I mean,
My nightlife was probably, well, it depends. I mean, before 21 or after? During my 21 years.
I don't know. Did you have
of
fake
age,
ID? Was that a
like,
thing back then?
No, I never had a fake ID. And I always looked really young for my age.
Okay.
So
So
I
you
could
probably
never
couldn't have
lie
pulled it
my
off.
way through a bar. Yeah, I just couldn't do it unless I was in drag.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And so then you turned 21.
yeah, turned 21. That was like a 7-day-a-week party for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely went out all the time.
You did.
Yeah.
You just loved it.
I loved it.
Good for
I
you.
loved it. I love a good speaker. Just get on it and dance. The 90s for me were like a real building moment because I have to be honest, I wanted something other than what I had.
Yeah.
So my entire like early part of my career, I was in a town that was defeating of where I wanted to go in my career.
Yeah.
And that's no slay against Spokane, Washington.
Sure.
But I could only be
What you could be.
what I could be.
Yes.
Because you were never going to work for Elle magazine. You were never going to work for Vogue. You were never going to work for Bazaar. You were never going to do any of the things.
Right.
You weren't going to travel internationally, do whatever you want, or work with music artists or celebrities. You weren't going to do it sitting here.
No.
So for me, I was in a spot where I felt very defeated, but also very driven to figure out how to make that happen for myself, but I
Yeah.
didn't know how to do it.
Yes. And that brings up a
Um,
really good point because back then there was no internet.
None,
Really?
none.
No.
I have cell phones that just came out. I think
The
I bought
bricks, the brick cell phones.
yeah, it was a StarTAC. I bought it
Yeah,
at
StarTAC.
Nordstrom in the perfume department. I think you like bought like a like a Jean Paul Gaultier perfume, and you got like a StarTAC phone and a
Probably
plan.
a StarTAC coupon.
Yeah, I think it was a coupon, but
Yeah.
then you got the phone. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
The brick.
yeah, yeah. It was a big
The
phone
brick. And by the way, those were only to call
with
people.
no texting.
That's not an internet
no
or texting. That's just a
nothing.
phone.
Yeah, and you had
But
to hit the zone.
correct. So, okay. And I guess the question is, because I know you now, but I'm assuming that you had the eyes on the prize to go and do all the things that you just mentioned.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, I went through highs and lows. So I think there were times where I really, had my eyes on the prize. And I also believe that there were times when I felt like they weren't going to happen. And there was like really dark times in that because, I would just drink and be
Yes.
sad, show up to work hungover,
Yes.
but could pull it together because of youth.
Yes.
But just wanted to throw myself off a bridge, right? I mean, it's
Oh,
just
no.
what happens,
Yeah.
right? But you can sort of be fabulous through it, because you're young and you get away with that. But at the same time, it's like, if I remember when I got an apartment at the River Falls Tower, and it was sort of close to almost the point where I end up meeting Ruth and she offers me a job in New York, but it was getting close to sort of my tipping point here in Spokane. I remember kind of looking over my balcony, just going, God, I wonder what it'd be like if I just jumped.
Oh my God. Well, thank
It's
God.
what happens, right? I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
see, everybody goes through their moment where they're just like, in a spot, but that's
Totally.
sort of like where I got, it was like a dark time,
Yeah.
And I just feel like, Spokane at the point, I mean, I think now it has so many more opportunities than it did back
Yes.
then. Back then,
But back
really,
in the 90s.
yeah. I mean,
It's still
one of my
pretty small.
aunts said, well, because I like worked as a janitor for Columbia Lighting while I was in beauty school, because I worked 40 hours a week during the day, and I would go clean this office building. And she goes, well, you know what? If the hairdressing thing doesn't work out, at least you can be a janitor. And I remember that was a real catalyst for me, because I was just like, yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about
But you
that.
knew you were always determined.
I knew
the
I
cool
wanted
thing about
to
you
do
is
it.
that, a lot of people, especially these days, and I can speak from experience because I hire young people, they would never do that. They wouldn't even think about having two jobs
Yeah.
because
but you
they're
have
all
to do
about
what you
like
have to do.
work-life balance.
Sure. Yeah, no, I don't
But that's
even
a whole
know
nother
what
thing.
that is. I'm fail at that.
Okay. So the fact that you had that, that drive that was going to take you, but you didn't know it at the time.
Right.
Yeah. And so then how did you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go to New York? Like, what was your first step?
So my first step is Ruth had called the salon, and
Who's
she was
Ruth?
talking. So Ruth was a woman that actually gave me my big break.
Hmm.
She was a friend of Terry's.
Okay.
They had worked for a company.
And Terry was
called-
your friend at
that I worked
Salon
with.
Nouveau.
That was my boss and my friend at Salon Nouveau.
Okay.
So Terry had worked for this company called Trevor Sorby back in the 80s. She was a creative artist for that company. It was a product line. And Ruth was a woman from Chicago
Mhm.
that she was on the team with, and they had stayed good friends throughout the years. And I'd met Ruth throughout my career. She would come and visit Terry and whatnot.
Yeah.
She had left Redken. She was the global artistic director for Redken and left that company to start her own company in New York called Rare. And she called up Terry and she's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm going to do this hair show. I've left Redken and I'm going to do this hair show. Do you know anyone that can help me? And they were like, well, maybe Bradley will help you. And I was like, yeah, I would love to. So I would fly myself around the United States helping her at her hair shows. Then she got to the point where she was ready to open a salon in Tribeca that would be a salon during the day, and on the weekends you would convert into a educational facility. She was very well renowned in the hairdressing community. People would fly in, take classes from her.
Yeah.
And so she would also have an educational space, keep it real. And
So how'd she pick you though, instead of like,
she picked me because I did the work. And so I just we had the same work ethic. I was a really good assistant because I'd assisted Terry for all those years. They had the same training. So I could kind of know what to give her without her thinking.
oh, isn't that the best?
Yeah, it's like I had that
You know what that's
intuition.
called?
It's
You know what that's called?
proactive.
It's called being proactive,
Right.
not reactive.
That's right. So you know what's
And
going
when
on.
when you have that
Yeah.
in someone that you see,
right.
you're like,
It's the hardest thing to find too
Yes.
nowadays is people that think
Yes.
for you.
yes,
That's right.
yes,
everyone wants to be the star.
reactive, not proactive.
That's right.
Yes, he'll edit that. Exactly. 100%. Okay, keep
So
going.
yeah, so I ended up I remember I was in New York for the IBS show with her, which is like the International Beauty Show, not the Irritable Bowel Syndrome. And we were out having a cigarette, and she goes, "Do you ever think about moving to New York?" And I said, "I would love to move to New York." And I was like 29 at the time. She goes, "Well, I've got this salon that I'm getting together." She goes, "And I would love for you to come work with me and
thank
be
God.
my right hand." She goes, "But I can't guarantee it's going to be open in 3 months. But if you want to take a risk, get yourself here and let's do this."
Yeah.
And so I did it.
Good for you.
And it worked out. And I was with her for 6 years. And then I ended up, so I worked in the salon and we traveled, did hair shows, did all the things.
But hold on, because a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially my generation, myself included, I would just move to the city and then I'd figure it out.
Yeah. No, I wanted a job.
You needed like
I needed like a sure thing income.
Yeah.
Because the one thing with New York is in order to rent an apartment,
you need a job.
you need a job because you need a letter from your employer
Yeah,
stating how
that's
much
true.
money you're going to make.
Yeah.
Or you need a guarantor. Because
That's
when
true.
you're like young, they don't just rent to you
Sure.
because you're cute. So
Sure. Or you need a guarantor. One or the other. Whatever.
yeah, and I didn't have a guarantor. You know,
Yeah.
it was me, myself, and I. So
Correct.
it was my own
Yes.
financial thing.
I think yes. So, but I mean, a lot of people do that and then just hoping,
Yeah.
But you were responsible enough to like secure.
Yeah,
it.
I was also when I moved, I was 30.
Yeah.
So I
And what year
just
was
had that would have been it was right after 9/11.
Yes.
So I think it was about 2002 or 2003
I think it was
when I left.
2002 or 2000.
When I left.
I think it was
So
2002.
it was just enough after 9/11.
Yeah.
And it was
I remember it was
believe
when I graduated
moved
from high
in
school.
April or June. Yeah, I
Yes.
think so. So it was a sweet spot to get into New York because so many people had left.
Yeah.
So I got right into an apartment in the West Village.
Uh-huh.
It was rent stabilized. I think it was like $1,100 a month, which is way more than I was paying at the River Falls Tower. So I was paying $500 there for a view. But this had a view of a garbage can. You know, you
But who
learn.
cares?
It was 450 square feet, but it was mine, you know?
Yes. That's
And
amazing.
it was in a great neighborhood. I felt very safe. And I stayed there for 19 years in that very apartment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And for those people who don't know that you became a celebrity hairstylist, you kind of became your own boss. But how did you get on that trajectory?
So 3 months after working for Ruth in the salon, we got a phone call. Ruth was at a meeting that night, and we had a colorist there named Colin Lively. He was this old gargarious queen from Elizabeth Arden that only did color. He didn't style hair, nothing. He was just like, he used to be the guy that would, like the Mexican food would get delivered by like a Chinese man. And he'd be
Yes.
like, only in New York does the Mexican get delivered by the Chinese and the Chinese get delivered by the Mexican. And it's true because that's how it worked down there. And everyone would laugh and it was crazy. And he'd bring these like old socialites from the Upper East Side all the way down to Tribeca. It was hysterical.
I love it.
And so he knew a woman named Liz Derringer, who was a publicist, who called him and said, "Look, I got this girl. It's her Sports Illustrated cover
Mhm.
party tonight. We got to get her hair done." The guy that was supposed to do her hair backed out at the last minute for another job. Who can do her hair? Can Ruth? And he said, "No, she's gone. I don't do hair." Alicia, his assistant, couldn't do it. We got Bradley.
Mhm.
And the girl walked in. It was a model named Petra Nemkova.
Mhm.
And she had on a silver Dolce & Gabbana dress for her party. Looked amazing.
Yeah.
And I styled her hair and I did her hair ever since. Like we ended up on a great ride and it really changed a lot of the trajectory of how I ended up doing because she was part of Next Model Management and my first agent was upstairs. His name was Timothy Priano
Uh-huh.
and he ended up repping Ruth,
Mm.
but he also knew Lee Crystal, who was Petra's agent. Lee had talked to Timothy in the elevator because Petra had ended up in a tsunami and when she came back, she asked for me to do her hair for like different ad campaigns and photo shoots. All of a sudden I'm shooting for like Bazaar and Vanity Fair and all these different magazines. And Lee said to Timothy, "Will you please go talk to this guy and get him rep? Because I don't know what to ask for hairstylists.
Yeah.
I know what to ask for models." So he came in, Ruth was cutting his hair. He's like, "When can I sign you?" And I said, "I'll be in Monday." And he said, "Great." And so I went in on a Monday and he signed me. And it wasn't that far after 6 years, probably 5.5 years into working in that salon that I ended up leaving it
Good for
and
you.
went full-time freelance. Sorry, that jumped way ahead.
No, it's good. It's good because okay, so
But
you
keeps
were
it
you were in
moving.
the salon for 5.5 years, and was it like a commission situation, or did you rent there?
It was yeah, it was a
Because we
commission
talk about
situation. She gave me
business
like
on this one.
60, yeah, so she gave me 60% commission.
Okay, she gave you
Yeah.
60% commission. Okay.
And my
So-
haircuts, I mean, I think I was charging like $30 here in Spokane, maybe $36. I can't
in the
remember what it was.
90s, probably.
No, yeah, I think it was before I left. It was like so cheap back then. And then all of a sudden I'm in New York charging 145, which just seemed like a lot back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like crazy.
It was probably like $350 now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
for a haircut,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so you were there, and so you did commission because I always like to ask my hairdressers because I've been in this arena because I've done a lot of design for
Yeah.
them, and it's interesting how because I'm always into business, so I always have to ask. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so you did the commission, and then you said, okay, I can make a lot more money doing freelance, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of a sudden you could go from having like a $2,000 every 2-week paycheck to making $2,000 in one day.
Correct.
You know, so it
What would
became a
you
whole
rather
different
do?
thing. Right. And then also like maybe having a week where you make like $15,000 and then have 2 weeks to just fuck off. And so I took that route. I really did. I
Yeah.
just was like, I'm going to go be over here because
Right.
this salon is putting lines on my face, and it was a lot of stress. And,
Sure.
also, in all fairness, it was a stressful time, for
Because-
Ruth too, because, she had a lot of financial obligations and she had all this stuff. And I was kind of done doing the education thing. And I
Yeah.
really wanted to figure out how to get myself on a
Well, especially
beach
because you said 2000
shooting swimwear,
Right.
doing hair for like swimwear models for like a week in the Bahamas. Like that was my big goal.
Yes. And I think, I'm just thinking about it because you're talking about the stressful time of like 2007 or 8, right? Which is like kind of like
Just before the
just
big
before that.
crisis, right? Which
so
is a different deal, right?
you were
was a
super smart to do something like that,
Yeah,
right?
get in there while you still got the good money because
Yeah.
the minute the crash happened, it changed everything in the freelance world.
It did. How so?
All of a sudden, the celebrity rates went down.
Okay.
So the good news for me is the 2008 crash. I always thank Neiman Marcus.
You what?
I thank Neiman Marcus for the whole thing because
good.
during that economy crash, I was doing hair for their online catalogs and like some print work for their print catalogs.
Uh-huh.
So I would spend probably a week or two a month in Dallas, Texas, in their photo studios doing hair for their. So I'd do like a week there or 2 weeks there and a week in New York. And my friends that were just celebrity only, they
Mhm.
didn't want to work for catalogs, were not working at all.
So then, okay, so in 2008, which I think is, I've just been thinking about recession because a lot of people think like
Yeah.
we're in a recession right now.
Yes.
Allegedly, depending on who you vote for, whatever, and who cares. I'm not going to welcome that conversation.
Yeah.
No, but we can say a lot of things on this.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can welcome it if you want. I don't mean to say that, but the point is that you get smart about what you're going to do during that time. Don't you
That's
think?
right. Desperation breeds creativity.
Totally.
It does. Like
totally
the most
agree.
fucking desperate times in your life.
Yeah.
You will absolutely crawl up from the ashes
Yes. And you're like, you
with
know
like
what?
creative.
I'm going to
yeah.
focus on this.
Because whenever you're comfortable in life, it's just a scroll, right?
Yes.
And that's like the thing for me. Like right now, I feel like I'm kind of in a scroll,
Uh-huh.
And the one thing I don't want is I don't want my job to become a sweatshop,
Right.
because now working in a salon again and whatnot, like I want things that keep me fresh, like walking into a studio with a bunch of bitchy producers,
Yes.
or going into a fucking studio in Warsaw, and having to produce hair for a, commercial. And you're just like, you've got a bag of wigs and you're like, Jesus Christ.
And under
I
a
hope-
timeline. You're like, I got to do this and I got to do
you
it now.
sat up, like literally, I remember I went to Warsaw, Poland, and I was doing like a Schwarzkopf color commercial. And I brought the wigs. I got there. They weren't exactly rich enough, the color. So I literally sat in my hotel room till probably 5 a.m.
Uh-huh.
Call time was 6.
Uh-huh.
Recoloring all the wigs and all the
'Cause
pieces
you weren't satisfied.
and building because I wasn't satisfied. And I knew the client wouldn't be satisfied. And they were paying me so much money to do that job. It was probably one of my biggest paid jobs. And
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure it was perfect.
I mean, they probably wouldn't have noticed, but you would have noticed.
They would have noticed because, they shoot these commercials, but then they blow them up
Oh, okay.
to the
So
side of
maybe they would've-
billboards, and they scrutinize everything to make sure the lace isn't showing on the wigs. And,
Oh, sure.
because nobody wants to pay to retouch lace. It's like that's an expensive
Yeah.
thing to have to video retouch if you can get it as perfect as you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you
Especially
show
in
up your
video.
A game.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was very stressful.
Yes. But you
But I
definitely.
miss that kind of hustle.
Okay. Well, you can come work with me if you'd like. You miss hustle and you miss deadlines.
Yeah, but it's like you get into
Yeah.
this thing like working behind the chair that's very different than
Yeah.
the uncertainty. I will say, like, my favorite thing to do is extensions.
Okay. And let's get into that.
Yeah, like it's my I always say extensions are my superpower.
Okay.
And the ones I do are keratin tip great lengths. And I've been doing them for over 20 years, and I like them because they're so transformative to the people. Like I would say that my clients that come to me are people that need them.
Right.
They're not people that just like want a slutty moment. They're people that literally need
that was
to,
me
like,
guilty. Like at age 23, when I got the great lengths, I wanted a slutty moment because what I did was I just cut my hair off, and then I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
Right.
I need my hair back. And then I became a British rock star because you kind of had to do that in order to make it work.
Yeah.
Right. But what you're talking about is like women who are I'm not going to say aging, but we don't have the huge locks we once had.
No, but they're of means, and they, know what they want. They just want like healthier looking hair, because the one thing about like when you get older, your hair gets thinner.
Yes.
It's more vibrant and useful when you have volume.
Correct.
It just is what it is. I mean, I have them, it's like I've got a few in there. It just makes my hair a little bit more.
Yes.
And I would say, you got to like, it's what I do. That's why I wear them. But when they're out, my hair still kind of looks like this, but it's just a little sadder. And so am I.
A walking billboard, really.
A walking
and
billboard.
A lot of people ask me, not anymore because of this butch haircut that you gave me, but we'll get to that later.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was jealous.
And we'll get to the why.
I was jealous.
Yeah. But a lot of women ask me because I've had it all. And when I'm talking about I've had it all, I mean, I've had all of the extensions.
No, I've seen them on social media.
Yeah, you have.
I've seen all the installs.
Yeah, you have.
I've loved all of them.
Well, for their own special way.
Yeah, because I love a trashy sew-in. I'm not going to lie. It's just, it's like, it's nothing I do, but I'm not beyond doing it. If somebody brought me a pile of hair and said, do a sew-in, I'd get out the rings. I got them in the salon, would just do it, stitch that thing in and do it. Yeah, just let me know. Christmas party's coming up.
It always is.
I also have wigs.
Just around the corner. Well, that's, I digress and I'm a squirrel, but that is my ultimate goal, is to have like the pixie haircut and just wear wigs.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I will get
wigs.
there. Yeah, I'll get there.
You can just color them.
Yeah. But anyways, so I've had it all. When I was 23, I started with the Great Lengths. I was living in Arizona and I had the Great Lengths and I loved them. For me, and I think Great Lengths have probably evolved, right? Not really. You're like, no, I
think it really has so much to do with the person that's installing it, because what you probably had were full bonds.
I had full bonds.
So you had like that ghetto Paris Hilton shit that's just like linguine noodles, and you lose one, it's like losing a front tooth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I went like this on a bouncer's and I was like, pretty bird?
I know. Yeah. No, they call them tumbleweaves. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, no,
and I'd
it's
be
terrible.
like, oh, whoops.
So when I do a great length, I take a bond and I cut it in thirds or fourths.
See, that's the way to do it.
When your hair is very fine, and I think it's like one of the things that happens a lot of times with people where they experience damage to their hair, is when you hang a heavy piece of hair on a very minute, fine piece of hair.
Sure.
It creates a lot of damage. But the smaller the piece of hair is, so if the hair is the same size as the hair that you're attaching to, and you keep it very lightweight, but you do hundreds of them in there, then you end up getting a better result. And then also you don't go past the 3-month mile, which is also
mind blown.
Which is also what happens, so like if somebody's got a budget issue, Great Lengths is not for you, because you really, ideally, if you have fine hair, you want to have them redone in 3 months, not much more past that, because anything more, it's going to start to tangle on itself, get damaged.
Yeah. Come out.
Yes. Yeah, they start to,
Yes, they do. And I would always say I had a head full of zits, basically. Yeah. It was very like.
The longest I've ever kept a head is a year.
Okay. Yeah. So.
And it was like Jack Sparrow in there. I looked like a fucking pirate. Like it looked fine on the outside, but the inside was.
Inside was not
ghetto.
so good. So what is the difference then? Because a lot of people ask me like, what did you like the best? What are the differences? And I would say, the sew-in was, I mean, for me, I had, oh my God, Zach will attest to this because I made him comb it out for me. Yeah. But I had 2 rows. That was too much for me. It was so heavy. I felt like I was like,
yeah.
I mean, I already have bad necks from figure skating, but that's a whole nother
And
topic.
you have a lot of hair.
Well, thank you. I don't think so, but thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I had 2 rows, and for me, that wasn't sustainable for me, because I wasn't going to Marsha Brady it every night and just be like, I'm going to do that. I'm not a lady who lunches.
Yeah, I understand.
With the upkeep. I wish I was, but it's just not.
I get it.
It's just not where I'm at.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So that wasn't going to work. And then I went to the 1, and that was more sustainable, but it is heavier. It's just heavy more than the Great Lakes. So how would you break it down to the people out there of like, because people ask me all the time, so please answer them because you're much better answering myself.
I always say it just depends how much money you have to spend.
Okay.
It all comes down to price.
Okay.
You can buy a beautiful sofa.
Oh.
Or you can buy a CB2 sofa.
Correct.
They might look similar.
Right.
But if it's
longevity will be very different.
But the longevity is very different. The quality sucks. Like your ass is going to go through it faster if it's CB2, right? It's going to break and the plywood underneath is going to it's shit.
Correct.
And you're going to get wear spots on the velvet. Like there are things that quality just surpasses. Great lengths are something that you have to change out so you don't get the same hair every time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
A sew-in, you buy the hair, so you might spend like $2,000 or $3,000 on the hair.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's like that. Yes.
Probably. And then, but you have to keep having them inched up. Every like how many
grows
weeks?
Out. Yeah, I think like 6 weeks.
6 weeks is what they want. And how much is a 6 week?
Like $250, $350. Yeah. So it's like affordable.
So it's affordable at the moment, but the long term, it probably actually balances out.
It probably does. Because the hair is expensive.
Yeah.
And then
I always say like hair, like in the 14, 16 inch range. After 16 inch, you get into 18 inch, it gets more expensive. 20 inch gets more pricey. And by 24, you're into top dollar.
Sure.
Yeah. So every inch, every few inches, it just gets more because a 24 inches of hair to grow on a human being, not that many human beings grow 24 inches of hair. Like I could eat biotin my entire life and have all the hair growing pills and never get 24 inches of hair on my head. It would never happen.
Did you try it?
No.
So every 3 months, so with Great Lengths, you get new hair, right?
Yeah. Every 3, I've got some clients that go 4. And I think I've got
but
one
it's
that
actually
goes
new
5.
strands.
Yep, new
whereas
strands.
like the weave, it's
brand new hair.
that hair and you just sew them
right.
up, baby.
That's
You
right.
sew them up.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
It
right?
is. And hair takes a wear and tear, right?
Yeah. So what's like, let's just say like, well, don't use me as an example, but like if I had hair down here and I just wanted like,
A filler?
Yeah, filler.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite things to do is to give, like I've got a lot of people like I'll do bobs on them. Like they might have a mullet. Yeah. Because the hair is just doesn't grow right. You've got like that hormonal hair and it's thin and they've got like a
hormones
short mullet.
Is real.
And you give them that like one length hair.
That's
and
nice.
that's like really pretty that they can wear and it looks great on them. And you fill in their sides where their sides are thin. It doesn't have to be this whole like fucking fantasy mermaid moment.
Sure.
Sometimes it's about just like creating shapes for people that they can't grow.
Yes. I think that's where you come in too.
That's where the art comes in.
That's where the art comes in. You're not trying to do a mermaid. I mean, you can if you'd like.
Yeah, and it's great. And it's great to have like, 20-year-old clients that want it. But, most of my clients are of a certain, point in their lives where they just want to have pretty hair.
They do. They do.
And they can afford it.
Yeah. And they're 40 usually and above.
Sure.
I mean, that's how my clients are too.
Absolutely.
Wrong with
and
that.
I love it.
Yeah, me too. I like
because
older
we
people.
get each other.
We do.
Our communication's right. I mean, listen, I don't mind throwing Giselle hair on any, like give that big long ass thing on somebody. It's great, but it's not always practical too.
Right.
And you get all that long hair. If you can't take care of it, I remember there was this couple, these 2 women in New York, and they went to my boss for Great Lengths, and they had, at the time, I mean, they were like very wealthy women. I don't even know what the hell they did. They were just rich. They rented an apartment around the corner for like $20,000 a month at the time, which was a lot of money to rent an apartment in New York in the early 2000s. Sure. And they came in and they were going to Costa Rica for a month. Red flag.
Of course they were.
Red flag. And wanted hair extensions. Ruth talked him into the Great Lengths. So gave them these
and you say red flag because they couldn't take care of it?
Because they were going down.
They were going to the ocean.
Get drunk, lay in the ocean, and do drugs.
Right.
So
they were not going to take care of that.
They weren't taking care of themselves alone, their hair extensions.
Right.
They came back with mats. Like the hair
course they did.
was literally matted, all of it up to their heads because they didn't brush it the whole time.
Right.
And it was a cautionary tale, but it was a good one for me to see from a distance because I was like, I will never, ever make the mistake of not make sure somebody doesn't brush their fucking hair on.
You got to interview them.
Yeah.
And just
really,
be like,
it's all about that interview.
Yeah. Because otherwise they're going to come to you and
It's
be
not
like, will
worth
you
it.
fix it? And you're like, I have to shave your head, honey.
It took 3 days to get that hair out.
Oh yeah, I bet that. And how did they do it? How would you even do that?
So I saw the assistant start taking the scissors out and cutting into it, and I said, no.
Good.
Yeah, you got to pick it out. So I showed him how to get, because I'd known a girl here in Spokane years ago that had dreadlocks, and I picked some of her dreadlocks out. So I learned how to start from the bottom with a rat tail comb, and you just start slowly going through it. And they just sat there,
And what kind
high-end
of product would you
painkillers
put there?
there's like a spray detangler is a great place to start, and sort of conditioner, and you start backing it out. It's actually really easy to back out when you take your time to do it. The panic is where the problem sets in.
She was panicked.
Yeah.
She was doing scissors.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
went in, she was like,
God. You're
cut
like, no,
it.
no, no, no,
Cut the
no.
mat. It wasn't good.
Okay. So what you would say is, I think that's a really good way to put it. Anyone who's wanting that fuller hair that is like real hair, I think Great Lengths is a great opportunity. And I love how you're talking about how you like cut it, so it like goes with the hair.
Yeah.
And anyone who wants that mermaid weave, instant gratification.
Yeah, and you're not looking to spend, like, if you want 24-inch hair and you don't want to spend, a $3,700 every 3-4 months.
Yes.
Then just get a sew-in.
Yes.
You don't need it. It's like the great thing about Great Lengths is it's really versatile, so you can wear your hair up and it's undetectable.
Right.
A sew-in's different. We've seen it on a Sunday afternoon, like early morning.
Many times.
At the Safeway, the girls that have been out all night, you can see their sew-ins kind of just starting to break free from their scalp. Same thing with tape-ins.
Yes. Same thing with tape. But tape-ins are nice for like a photo shoot.
They're great for a photo shoot. So like if you're doing a photo shoot in water, they're great because they don't slide. They're great for just even if you just want hair for a weekend.
Yes.
They're fantastic.
But
But if you're looking for like hair up, it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've had some tape-ins which are nice on the side, but
they're fun.
they can last like a week.
And they've got those tape-ins too. They're like rooted tape-ins. Have you seen those? They're awesome.
Yeah, they're great, but not for they're here for a good time, not for a long time.
No, they're not here for a long time. And a lot of people want them for a long time because they're spending their money. But I always say it's like a cost-effective thing. And if you're somebody that's worried about cost, then get some clip-ins or a halo and just call it a day.
Yeah, call it a day.
Yeah, take it off at night and move on.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
But I knew a girl who was an actress. She used to have her clip-ins put in. She'd wear them. She would have a hairdresser come to her house. We'd do her for like whatever press junket. And then she would wear them for a whole week.
Wow.
Or 2.
Wow. She lived a different lifestyle
She
than I
had a
did.
different lifestyle. Yeah. She was not moving furniture.
No. Or stuff.
No, or things.
Or things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to when you dove into like, you basically became your own freelance. And let's talk about your celebrity lifestyle, because I think a lot of people are interested in that, especially not only people in general who want the hot goss and celebrities, but also, because that's always fun, but also like, maybe some hairstylists who are interested in that sort of thing or endeavor. Like, how do you start?
Yeah, really, I was really lucky. Like I said, I started with Petra, and she was a real mouthpiece for me.
Yeah.
She got me introduced to a lot of people. She got me into the business where I started working with people like Gilles Ben-Simone, which then hired me for jobs with people. I got in with different photographers. You get in with photographers and you say, like how I got Elizabeth Hurley as a client. I worked with a photographer named Daniela Federici. I'd done a lot of free projects with her. And then I went over to her apartment and I saw she had a picture of Elizabeth Hurley. I said, oh my God, I can't believe you shot Elizabeth Hurley. I love her. She's like my dream client.
Yeah.
And a month before, my agent said, give me a list of dream clients you want. And I said, Elizabeth Hurley. And he said, oh, you'll have to wait for Serge Normant to die before you ever get her. Like that was his answer. Then Daniela was like, oh, darling. She goes, I'll make that happen in like 1 week. Just don't worry about it. I'll make that happen. And my agent called me a week later and he was like, you'll never believe this, but Elizabeth Hurley just called and she wants you for this shoot at the Carlisle Hotel for Paris Match magazine.
Perfect.
And it was the best shoot ever. And I've worked with her ever since.
Okay.
So like shit does happen, but you have to show up, right?
You have to show up and you have to ask for it.
Yeah, well, you have to ask for it, but be specific, because I'll tell you another incident where I asked for it, but I wasn't specific, and that was Mariah Carey. Because I was very specific. I said, I want to work with Mariah Carey.
You did?
And I got it. Yeah. I mean, she was hot back in the day. I mean, but when I got her, she wasn't so much, She was not her prime. And I'm just going to go ahead and
at least she
it,
had her Christmas
because
album.
it was a really bad experience for me. It
Was
was
it?
like she had bad people around her at the time, and
she was tired.
And I was probably not in the best spot in my life.
I'm sure you were,
when
actually.
I met her.
Okay.
I don't know. You reflect a lot in life, and but I got her as a client, and I went, and it was great. I'd made her these hair pieces. So she had the straight hair, and it was good. And I went for an 8 to 10 do and go. I got home like around 4 in the morning, and I had to work at 6 for another job.
Thank God for drugs.
But no, I didn't even have any of those. I was, the thing is, people work in the music industry. Most of them work during the middle of the night.
Oh, sure.
And she was re-recording Hero.
She was?
In this.
What?
And that was not part of the deal. And I was doing it for like $500
You were.
to get in,
Yeah.
right? So I went, and her people were really rude.
Mm-hmm. And you were
where they like called them they didn't like my hair. So they called the house manager was walking past, have you ever seen her apartment on Cribs?
I have not.
Yeah. So the house manager, this woman, Louise, kept walking back and forth. And then like one of the other people would walk back and forth the room. And I remember the manicurist, Elle, she goes, what the fuck is going on around here?
She was
and
the
we
manicurist?
were laughing. Yeah, she was the manicurist because she worked with her all the time.
Yeah.
And it just felt really odd. And then they called the makeup artist out. And then he's like, hey, come here. Do you want to see the what is it? The Hello Kitty room. And I'm like, well, not really. It's like 10:45. Like I got places to be, it was 8 to 10. And so he's like, well, come here. So he takes me out and he goes, they want you to put your hair up so she'll feel comfortable coming down. That's what I heard. So by that point, I just went out, right? Because I'm like, I'm a long hair person.
They wanted you to bun up?
Yeah, they wanted me to bun up. I was like, that's fine. But like the way we're going around it now I feel like it's an attack.
Right.
So I always say, ask exactly for what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but be really specific.
Because
I got exactly what I wanted. I wanted to do her hair.
Well,
and then they called me back. I remember Timothy was like, oh, they want you back. And I was like, no, thanks. And I didn't go back.
Well.
And it was probably maybe not the right thing to do because I don't think Mariah really had anything to do with it. I think it was that woman. She was so awful.
Well.
Because it's not always a celebrity. It's just the people around her were so
They
weird.
usually have a posse.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they're creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bad deal.
P. Diddy.
Yeah.
But we won't go there.
No, never went to a party. Somebody was like, hey, did you ever go to one of his parties? I was like, fuck no. Nobody would have ever even invited me.
But I think it goes back to the whole thing of like what you were saying of like be
cautious of
be
what
cautious of what you want, but also like
but be specific.
Be specific, and also what I love about Ina Garten, be ready when the luck happens.
And be ready when the luck happens. Because the one thing that I'll like circle back to is not every situation is a fucking hit.
No.
Right. I've had a lot of knocks. That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Because especially in the fashion industry, it's not always great.
I'm sure not.
I've had to like battle through things. I've had shoots that have like not been my crowning glory, but then I've got beautiful shoots that have just been amazing.
Yeah.
That I've and you learn along the way, because if it all happens the right way, and like I always say, and anybody that's been in that business is that, if you've got feelings, then the entertainment industry or anything that has anything to do with it is not for you.
Right.
Because you got to constantly dust off.
You do. And also
because it always reminds you. It doesn't even matter where you're at. You always get reminded exactly where you belong.
Which I think is also a good thing for anyone. When you kind of put your guard down, you get reminded, don't you think?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, I think so for sure. I mean, I would definitely say.
I mean, when you just take anybody. That's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
exactly.
I mean.
You just can't take anybody. You got to be very cautious, and
it's not about how famous they are. It's about the person.
It's the person, 100%. You got to read the room.
Read the room.
It's read the room.
That's right.
It is.
And I think I want to know if you agree with this statement, but I feel like you've got to put in the work. Clearly, you've put in the work, like you said. You've done a lot of you've had some doozies, right?
Yeah, everyone's had doozies.
But you have to go through the doozies to be like, I'm not doing that again.
And I'm so glad I went through them. At the time, they were so defeating, and I would just go home. You just want to fucking die. But you smoke a cigarette and drink a bottle of vodka. You wake up the next day and you're ready to go. You got to be somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
And then you had a good day, and you're like, oh God, I'm back in. I will say that freelancing is like the Tourette's of a fucking career.
Okay.
Because you're so high and low in your life. 1 minute it's great. I don't know if Tourette's is the right word.
I think it's a good word.
It's like you're in this sort of depression. You might get some time off. Like, all I want is a day off, and then you get like a week of days off, and you're at the end of it. You're like, oh my God, my career's over.
Right. Well, because
nobody wants
you
me.
get anxious.
It's done. I mean, that's how it goes, right? I mean, it's like it's great when it's great, and
not when it's not.
Yeah.
But I have a question. So I think this is a genuine question that I have, and I think a lot of people have. So is it still you're going through an agent? Like,
Yes.
what if someone's famous and is just like, Bradley, can you do my hair?
Yeah.
Do you have to go through an agent?
Well, no, it depends what it's for. So if it's like a do and go, and they're just like have somewhere to be, and they reach out to you, I would just go do it. I think it was like At the time, I think I would do it for like $250 do and go. They just give you cash.
$250, honey.
Yeah, it's like cheap for a blowout.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Yeah.
all it is. It's
Not
not
a
like
blow
you're
job.
going out. Yeah, it's not like you're going out and like spreading legs. So and that depends because some people would like offer more. It just depends, whatever. But usually like $250 do and go was like an average rate.
And you would do that for makeup and hair?
Oh no, just hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't dabble in makeup. That's a makeup artist job.
Yeah, sorry. I knew that. But I thought you meant the whole thing. I was like,
but if
wow.
it were something for like a commercial or something they were doing, then I would bring my agent in because therefore contracts are getting entered into the deal.
Got it.
And I'm not a contract person.
Okay.
And that's where agents are great because they handle the contracts. If there's travel involved, they book the flights. They keep the schedule together. I would even call my agent Michelle and I'd be like, you know what, it's just a do and go. I'm not going to bother you with it. I mean, if you want any of the money, I would like send it to you. But she's like, no, dude, just go do it.
Okay. Got it. I got it. So when it's a do and go, which
and
I
sometimes
like,
the do and goes are good because also you do those do and goes in hopes that then you build relationships and then end up with like big jobs.
Okay.
You know.
And did you mind traveling or did you want everyone to come to you?
No, I always traveled to them.
You did. Okay.
And nobody came to me.
Okay. And you traveled with all your, your
Everything.
jazz.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, let's get back to the trajectory of your career.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you start 6 years in, you were doing celebs, right?
Right.
And you lived in New York for 19 years. So if I'm doing the math right, you were doing celebs and freelancing for 12 years.
Yeah.
Wow. And how was that?
It was great. It was great until the pandemic.
Okay.
That kind of like,
yeah.
put a stain
And
on
what
it.
was, I would say, what's the high and low? Like what was the number one, if you want to go into the lowest time of the celeb or like the best story, and what was the best?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say, I don't know, there've been so many. I really, of course, Elizabeth Hurley like comes to mind as one of my best, and I really loved my moments with Kim Cattrall. She's fabulous. I mean, I lucked out in so many ways working with people like Meg Ryan.
I've heard she's amazing.
That for me, like in my genre, like working with actresses that were really relevant when I was younger, were more than working with a lot of the younger girls. Because I mean, there were a super. I had my moments with Gossip Girls that I worked with that were probably big to younger people and pop stars that didn't mean a lot to me.
Right.
But mean a lot to like younger people I talk to.
Sure.
So
I've heard Kim Cattrall is actually the best.
It's penis o'clock.
I've heard she's the best. Yeah, I've heard she's amazing.
She's really cool. You know what I like about Kim Cattrall is that she's not Samantha Jones, but she's the creator of that character, right? So it's like you do have to understand when you meet people. I would say don't go in a fan,
right?
It was sort of a big mistake with Mariah Carey, and it was the lesson I learned. So
or never meet your heroes.
It's true. So when you go in, it's just good to meet them at their level as a human. So you just introduce yourself and don't get too caught up in the characters you've seen them play because that's not who they are as a person, right? Because I mean, I was hoping she was going to be Samantha Jones. She's not. But she's funny.
And I've heard she's just lovely.
She's lovely. That's exactly how to describe her. Her boyfriend's amazing and she's got a gorgeous home in New York and she's got a great life. I mean, she's worked really hard for it and she survived Hollywood, which to me, all hats off to her.
And she was 50 when she did Sex and the City, playing like a late 30s, 40s.
Yeah, and killed it.
Yeah.
Funny. She was the show.
She was the show. Oh, yeah. I know.
It's not the same.
It's a different show.
show.
You got to look at it as a different show.
Yeah, it's a different show. It's just like that. Yeah.
Yes. And then who was your worst?
My worst client? I mean,
if you want to say.
Oh my God. Do you know, I can't really say like who my worst. I would say
Let's say who's a bummer.
One of my bummer experiences wasn't Mariah Carey, but it was just like the group. I don't ever think that people. Oh, Lauren Hutton, $1 million. Yeah, it was a bad day for her, for me, for everyone. Everyone had a bad day that
Lauren
day.
Hutton.
Yeah,
I mean, she's
terrible.
so cool.
I know. I loved her.
Yeah. Did you? I think the question was, did you go in thinking you'd love her?
No, I was warned.
You did. You were warned.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was grouchy.
Okay.
The makeup artist, unfortunately, was like, this is the dream. She goes, I've always dreamed of doing her makeup. And she was just not in the mood that day. She was not in the mood. And nothing against Lauren Hutton. The thing is, these people are not show ponies. but they're treated like show ponies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're forced to come out on days they don't want to come out of their cave. You know, I get it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm a nightmare. I work 5 days a week in a salon. Like half of those, I probably would rather just be in my cave and not be out in society, right? I mean, let's get real. You know, we're in the service industry. They're in the service industry. I always say, like, there's the difference between working in a salon and doing what I did in New York is that when you work in a salon, everybody's sitting in your chair. They're there because they want to have their hair done.
Yeah.
And they're there to have a fun time, or at least get away from their lives.
Right.
When you work in New York and you work in photo studios, everyone's there for work,
Yeah.
including the person you're working on. So they're not having fun. They've got a lot of stress on them. Their life sucks. I mean, I don't know what she was going through that day. We kind of talked a little bit. She was just in a mood. You know, she went through the lighting. She was like moving lighting on the set. Everyone was too young. She didn't have her normal photographers, her normal hair and makeup people. So she felt a little out. And I understand what that would be like to not be in control.
Did you tell her that?
No, there was no point, because by the time she read that makeup artist and kicked her out of the room, I was like, oh, I'm just going to do my job. Go fuck off. Go have a cigarette and relax. You know, and everyone's like, wow, you're so handling this so cool. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I was warned this was going to happen. Like, you don't understand. I walked in expecting this.
Well, that's what's nice about an agent too, right?
Yeah, it was friends of mine that had worked with her in the past. So
Okay.
the minute I found out that I was working with her, I had called everyone and said, what's it like? And they said, you know, don't go in too smiley.
Right.
You know, just
Don't
be
worry.
warned,
We'll get you
which is
some,
great.
We'll get you some more wine. Zachary.
And it's like, it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's not a bad place to just reach out. And I mean, you know, I don't feel bad about saying it. It was such a disaster of the day for the photographer and everybody involved. I don't think anyone got out untouched by the moment, but I'll tell you the one thing about her that is so absolutely magical to watch is that even though she was grumpy,
Not the gap between her teeth.
loved all of it.
Yeah.
Is that she walked out on set and she was just this old pissed off woman. But the minute that camera started flashing, 6 shots and you had it.
Love
she
it.
just like, she knew just what to do. And that's what working with a pro is like.
I get that.
You work with these models that are just, and actresses that just, they're having the shittiest day of their life.
Yeah.
And the minute they get in front of that camera, they just give it to you. And when you see those pictures, you think, wow, you know, she must have just been having the best day. But no.
But I also think that about, don't sell yourself short. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I also think that about someone like you. Like, I think a lot of us, you know, we're not having the best day and we really don't want to do that. And you have got to put it on.
Sure, you do.
And for longer.
You do.
Might I add.
Yeah, it is true. You know, it is true. Like, we're all in that business where you're like, it's a dance, right?
Yeah.
But to do it in front of a camera,
that's true.
and translate it through film is really where it gets crazy, because it's like when you work with these people that are in front of the camera all the time, they might want to kill themselves.
Maybe.
But in the photo, you'll never see it. Or they might be high on heroin or whatever drugs they're on, like models back in the day, like Georgina Grenville, that model. I was shocked when I found out she was like a heroin addict, because she was like the Gucci model.
Yeah.
And I've worked with like makeup artists like, oh, girl, she used to do heroin. And I was like, really? I'm like, she was my hero. No wonder she was so thin. You know, but it's like you find out that these people, you know, had these like really wild lives, but they looked so beautiful because they knew how to give it to film. And giving it to film is really, it's cool to watch people when they turn, when the camera's on, because all that shit in their head like shuts off and they give you that magic. And that's why people are famous and people are not famous.
That's true. It's the factor.
It's a
either you
fucking
have
vibe.
it or you don't.
And to watch it live and you see those eyes just light up the minute the camera hits them is really spectacular. And that's why I love doing what I was doing.
Yeah, because you understand like the
models.
difference.
Oh my God. It's like a model that is like a Vogue quality model that has done all the runway, the most beautiful, like the biggest girls. When you see them in front of the cameras, they can't take you throw dog shit on the side of their head and they will make it look like $1 million. It's true. It blows you away every time.
That is
they will
amazing.
make it look cool.
Yeah, they
you
do.
know?
Yeah. I mean, I always thought, just so we're clear, that was never going to happen for me,
Me
for many
neither.
reasons. But when I have done a lot of photo shoots, I'm like, this is so, I would not,
Oh,
and it's hard. And,
it's hard.
It's really hard. And I don't think I would have enjoyed it. Now,
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't have been a candidate, but I'm just saying it's not easy.
Oh my God.
It's not easy.
I mean, I've been on like photo shoots for like 16 hours.
Yes.
where
And
you
they
just
just
wanna, like,
still
kill
have
yourself.
to just like, it's like, not
In the
that,
freezing
it's
cold.
not that fun.
I mean, we like sat on a glacier in Iceland for probably 14 hours shooting the girl in dresses. She was like turning blue.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we can color correct that. We get in for the beauty shot and it starts to sleet on her in the hair. And I'm just like, it's sleeting, because it's like we're up in an Arctic cat. Like we don't have fucking electricity.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to be able to like reset anything because we have no electricity. And we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
In a tundra. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Honey, you can
Who's
come.
got the,
Whoopsies.
Who's got the booze?
I think we should reset for optics here.
Cut off.
Yeah, reset for optics.
Thank you.
Did I get it on the thing? No, I did. Good for me.
You're a pro.
Honey, can I? Oh, yeah, I'm done with this one.
Cut
You know that.
off. This podcast is going nowhere fast.
Can you come every week?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, also one of the people that I know that you have done, who a lot of people want to know about, is Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, she's just awesome. She's like the 4th of July. I
bet
love
she
her
is.
real bad. Yeah, so, Jennifer Coolidge, she was, it's sort of like a sad thing because I always say, like, I had like a 30-minute love affair with Jennifer Coolidge because I met her in December of 2019.
Yeah.
And I got my first job with her. Actually, I got put on hold for like a 2-week string of jobs with her. She was finished up. It was like about ready to be the press junket for Like a Boss, where she'd done a movie with Salma Hayek and Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne.
Yes.
And so I was doing her hair for that press junket, which was like a week and a half. And then I was also set to do her for a Christmas party for this rich queen that lived on the Upper East Side that hired Jennifer Coolidge to be the doorman. So they'd made this dress for her and this like fascinator, and I did her hair all big and fucked
I hope
up.
they paid her a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, you don't do it for free. So, and she was like the doorman for this party at this place, which lasted like 2 seconds. She was late, needless to say. Jennifer Coolidge doesn't disappoint. Like she's exactly who you would want her to be. She's like, I mean, she's so special.
I bet.
And I had the best time with her. And then the pandemic happened. And I never saw her again. And I was sad. Like, so I always call it 30-minute love affair because I feel like we just kind of drifted apart in life. But I remember I texted her because I'd seen that she was in, I saw that she was in Paris during the pandemic. And I was like, I texted her, I said, Jed, I said, oh my God. I said, they're shutting down Paris. And she was in a bar in her Instagram. And I said, get out. I said, you got to get back to the States. And she's like, and at the time it was just hitting New Orleans. And New Orleans was like shutting down. And she goes, I'm not there. She goes, I'm in New Orleans. And I said, oh no. It's like everywhere she went was a hot zone. It was so funny. I mean, but terrible at the time because like we were so triggered. We didn't know what was going on. But anywho. So
Well,
it is what it is. And then I left New York, and the thing is when you're not there, you've got people that will so, book you, that you've had long relationships with, but you got to move on.
I know. But I really think that if Jennifer Coolidge knew you more, she'd be like, Bradley's my guy.
She's so cool. I ran into her outside my apartment after the press junket, and she was buying flowers at a flower shop. And I said, what are you doing here? She had bought me this huge bouquet of flowers.
Wow.
And got me an old antique sterling silver shaving box. And inside of it was a gift card for this really cool restaurant in New York that had a speakeasy. So it was like a church. And the door opens up and you go upstairs into the church like steeple. And it was like I think it was like $800 or $900 gift certificate for that church. I don't even think it's around. I never used it because the pandemic happened. So it's still in the box in storage.
You should go knock on that church and be like, hello.
Hello. Hi, does this still work?
I mean, that just goes to show how amazing a person
But how
she
amazing
is.
she was to be so thoughtful.
Yes.
Yeah.
But she did it because she knew you were amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really nice time. We had a really good time. And she was just cool.
I'm really here for the Jennifer Coolidge and Bradley reunion. Can we just put that out to the
Yeah, I
universe?
think we need it.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I need it. I need it. I think we all need it.
Yeah, why not?
So Jennifer, if you're listening.
Cheers.
She
Yeah,
will.
she's-
I'm sure she will.
Yeah, I'm sure she will too. Not, but I mean, you never know. I mean, things get
never know.
around. But
Yeah.
she's, yeah, she is really a special person and
she
so
seems like
kind.
it.
And one of my favorite things about Jennifer Coolidge is that during that press junket, they were constantly moving them. We were in a hotel, so
Yeah.
people would get moved around. I'd be in the main room with all the media, the cameras, so you're watching and not in the room with them because they were
Yeah.
doing like a satellite, interviews. And the only way you could find out where the fuck she was, and I had a bag full of press-on nails, is because her nails kept popping off. So you would see her fingernails down the hallway, and that's how I would figure out which room she was in.
That'd
and
be
then
me.
she'd be like, "Hey, do you got my nails?" And I'd give her a pack of nails, and she'd stick them on. She went through like 16 packs of nails. And that's so special. And I took a picture.
See, you do nails. You just don't just do hair.
Yeah, no. You
Yeah.
do press-on nails. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Kiss Cosmetic nails. Nobody even hires manicurists anymore. They just like press them on. But I thought it was so funny because like literally I have a photo of one of her fingernails.
You do.
Yeah. I sent it to her as a birthday. I was like, happy birthday.
I'm sure she loved it.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, well, we're here for that Bradley and Jennifer reunion. I'm just gonna put her
I
out there,
know.
okay? Yeah.
I know I missed out because, her White Lotus was such a moment for her, right?
Yes.
It changed everything.
And I think it really defined.
She
who
deserved it.
She deserved it. Yeah.
She deserved it.
And I love her speech. It was so good.
So good.
I started crying. It's so good. It was so amazing. She's just amazing. I hope she's doing something phenomenal. And one of the things that I loved about what she said, I think it was like last year, one of the big, award shows, is someone asked, "Hey Jen, what's the best thing about being in Hollywood?" She goes, "You can eat whatever you want."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I just love that. Okay, and so you're still going to New York. And so fast forward, let's go fast forward to the pandemic.
Sure.
You've moved back to Spokane.
I do.
You do. And which is why you're here now. So
Right.
thank God. I mean, selfishly.
Yeah.
Okay. And you moved back to Spokane and you're like, okay, I guess I've moved back to Spokane.
Right.
Right.
So a year in, my lease was coming up on my apartment, and I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I told my mom, I said, I think I'm just gonna stay. I think we're good because my industry really shut down for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was a year into it, and I had gotten quite a nice career here.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't gonna be able to stay where I was staying.
Mm-hmm.
So I, had found my friend Jen had a salon, and I'd gone out to dinner with her, and I was like, look, I can't work for commission. I really need to work for myself. I'm not good with bosses.
Right. Not in this time.
And I'd worked for myself the whole time through New York.
Sure.
And I needed to rent a chair.
Yeah.
So Jen offered me a great deal. She
Yeah.
felt bad for me. I was like crying at dinner, because I just had been through the ringer, right?
I
It's
think
like,
a lot of
I'd
people, by
given
the
up-
way, would have.
Everybody was crying at dinner though.
Do you know
during
people would have
that
been like,
time.
"I'll make you a salon, Bradley, in my
Yeah,
house."
no, I know, but you know how it is. It was a rough go because I'd
Yeah.
just gotten rid of my home. I'd left
Right.
New York, which was super emotional for me.
Yeah.
I'd spent so many years there, and
Right.
I had been a hairdresser in New York and had been an adult in New York longer than I was an adult here in Spokane.
Right.
So it was really my home base.
Right.
So there was a lot of emotion there, and my Jen, she just was like, just come here. It's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
It's our clubhouse.
Yeah.
And you can just make it whatever you want to make it, or
Yeah.
be there many times as you want it. Be there. I don't care. Like,
Mhm.
just come and hang out.
Right.
And she made it a really comfortable place for me, and I will forever be so indebted to her for that because it was tricky.
Yeah.
It was a tricky. It was.
I know
tricky
you think
spot.
it's tricky, but I don't think it'd be that tricky for you. So
Yeah, I
sorry.
know. I guess it was
Yeah.
just probably the time too.
Yeah, it was the time.
I was in a
probably
very
stressful.
vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
And I had spent through
I
so
think
much
if
of
you
my
lived in Idaho
savings.
and the pandemic happened, you'd been like,
Sure,
whatever.
but I mean,
New
I'd
York was
spent through so much
emotional.
Yeah, and also you're spending through your savings just trying to keep New York working while you're hiding out here from a virus or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, it costs a
Yes.
lot of money.
Yes.
So,
and
you
yeah,
know.
it affected a lot of people's lives
It
in a way
affected
that
a lot of people's lives.
I think we're still, trying to figure out
100%.
in
Yeah,
so many mental health and all that sort of
yeah,
thing.
all of those things.
All of those things.
Yeah.
So, but it works. So you're back in Spokane.
Bingo.
And did you say I was making you a cocktail when I heard this, but
Mhm.
there was this everyone in New York, was there a newspaper article?
There
What's
was.
happening?
So
Okay.
yeah, so my friend Phil Werschler had sent a client to me who is a really wonderful lady, and I was doing her hair.
Yeah.
And I told her my story, and she had called the newspaper and said, "Hey, are you looking for articles?"
Are you looking for articles?
Yeah, you want a story? And they were like, yeah, we're always looking for stories. She goes, well, I have one for you. And she told them my story. And so they contacted me and ended up doing a front page article on the Christmas weekend edition about my story coming back to Spokane, what I'd done, my career. And it really brought a lot of my clients back, like all of them. And it was great, you know, to be able to be so welcome back to Spokane. And really shortly after that is when, you know, then it started getting closer to June. And I just said to my mom, I said, you know, I think I'm going to stay. And voila.
I'm sure she was like so happy.
You know, I always say New York City, you know, it's a great place to be young.
Yeah.
But, you know, after being there for so many years and now I'm in my 50s, it's like a bad marriage you don't want to quit.
That's right.
And that's what it got to. You know, it just got to this point where it's like, I just felt like I would stay in it because if you're going to be miserable, you'd rather be miserable there because you don't really know that there could be like chill, peace, and happiness over here.
Right. Yes.
Because I'd forgotten about Spokane, you know, I'd really kind of forgotten that life could be easier.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was so busy in the struggle and the hustle and dealing in subways that smell like shit and, you know, dealing with annoying people constantly and dragging things everywhere to like find a place where I could just like, you know, exist and enjoy my life.
Yeah.
Go hang out at the lakes on the weekends. It's like life doesn't suck.
No, it
Not
doesn't.
pay city and state income taxes. I mean, it just, you know, it's a tough town.
Yes.
You know, and dumb rent. It's like,
right.
But if I hadn't done it, I wouldn't have had my experiences. So I'm very thankful for them. But I'm also very thankful that I closed the chapter when I did. Like my mom always says, I've got a good barometer on when to make the call.
You do. You do.
And that was,
well, you're a very smart person.
Well,
you are.
I think I'm just lucky.
Yes, you are. You're extremely smart. But also I think like, you know, I think you're a character. I think Spokane breeds characters.
Yeah, it does.
For better or for
Spokane's
worse.
full of characters. Yeah.
They're full of characters.
You're a character.
I also feel like, you know, even when I'd go to New York or Chicago or San Francisco or, you know, out in the world, I would meet a person like, oh, you're from Spokane. I know someone from Spokane. And they would be a huge character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think there's something to that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we have like our secret characters. And what I love about Spokane is I call it Toyland. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah, you can. Especially now. I mean, I think Spokane, like being back here now, people are like, well, how do you like it? I'm like, I love it.
Right.
You kidding me? As like a 53-year-old, this place is a fucking gem.
It is a gem.
You know, if I was young trying to get laid, I might feel different.
Right.
But, you know, to be, you know, old and not crusty and not give a shit and just want to go out to the lake and, you know, drink wine, it's perfect. Sit on a, you know, pontoon boat. I love it.
It is.
So good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It is good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, being young, I think, you know, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess they have apps now. They didn't have apps when we were young.
Yeah, there were no apps. And thank God there weren't because, you know, there were less STDs.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I think apps have like, I just have a friend of mine that works at Deaconess. She just told me syphilis is up like 700% in Spokane County. That's gross.
That is gross.
It's
we'll
not
edit that
good.
out.
Yeah, no, don't delete that app from your phone. But
Matt's like, we're not deleting that.
you know, I think my biggest takeaway is I think if I could do it all over again, because, you know, I've had a lot of time to like think about my exit from New York. And if I had to do it all over again, I probably would have spent those years because during my time with an agency, it was really taboo to work in a salon. So magazines didn't always want to necessarily deal with salon people, either did publicists because then you got to deal with their salon clientele.
Yeah.
And you sort of got pinned as either a salon hairdresser or a freelance hairdresser.
Yep.
Either you were in fashion or you were in a salon.
Mm-hmm.
And only the top-notch ones could like do both, but even that got tricky.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I were to do it again, I would have stayed in a salon and freelanced. And the reason why is because during the pandemic, it would have saved me. And it also would have made me double the money. I would have been in a financially better place because I know colorists in New York that make $1 million a year doing hair color.
So you mean you would have stayed in the salon?
I should have stayed in the salon the whole time.
The whole time.
And then picked and choose the jobs.
Sure.
Rather than just be an a-hole for every job. You know, because you throw yourself at everything when you're available.
When you're like, okay, I'm free.
Yeah, I'm free. Like I'm
Right.
here. Like, yeah, book me. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, rent's due. You know, I gotta like get it up. You know, I'm not screwing anybody. So, you know, I'm paying my own bills.
Right.
You know, it's tricky when you're single.
Yes.
So
I understand.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
gotta
I
do
would have been better off if I'd had like another notch in my life and stayed in a salon, which that's just like free money. right?
Right.
And when you work with celebrities, it's really easy then to get clients.
And then you could say to
Plus you
them,
get
"Oh, sorry, I'm
them
busy."
sending you people. It's like you start working with publicists and managers, and then they send you models and all the people.
But that's what you're doing right now.
right. But
That's
it's
exactly
like,
what you're doing right now.
exactly. But at the time, I wish I would have done it in New York because I would have made 50 times the amount of money.
Yeah. Why didn't you do that?
I just, you know what? You start spending. So this is another cautionary tale. You have to be careful because once you isolate yourself from the
Mm.
public, right? You just start only hanging out with the special folks.
Okay.
Then you start getting kind of weird, right? Because
Uh-huh.
you're not really out. You're not getting inundated with folks every day, right? We deal with people every day.
We do.
And it's the best thing for me has been being back
Mhm.
in the salon
Yes.
You
And,
know,
and doing
weekly.
normal shit.
and doing normal shit.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're like, I'm in my apartment that's like 450 square feet smoking pot and wondering what's going on outside,
Right.
not leaving.
I think what you're saying is like having a sense of community. I think
You
the salon,
have to be able to socialize yourself.
you do. And I think a lot of people have, like, from COVID has,
Yeah.
not,
Because just because famous people have millions of dollars doesn't mean the hairdresser does.
right.
So you can't put yourself in that same position.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to hair and makeup
And
people
also,
a lot.
it's good to have perspective.
And get perspective.
You
And
know?
it's good to be with the people.
It is.
It is.
It's good to be designed for the
It's
people. Am I right?
People, yeah, design with the people. Because you know what? It's good to have people that that you can also, relate to.
It is. Yeah. Or be like, nope.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
it's good.
helps.
It's because it also makes for. I always say, like, even if you have a bad experience, it makes for a really good story.
It is.
That night or a year
That's
later
right.
or whatever.
That's
You're-
right.
Then you can be like, goodbye.
And you're always with people that love being around you. Where when you're in a situation with a freelance career, not everyone's in love being around you. It's
Right.
not you.
Right.
It's just they don't want to be at work.
Yeah.
And when people are in your chair in a salon, they are happy to be there.
Okay. I mean,
'Cause
I'm,
they
I'm
want
so
their hair
glad you
done.
said that because that didn't even register with me. Is that when you were freelancing, you weren't working in a salon?
We're
So
all working.
You were just waiting for the next gig, right?
Yeah. Everyone's just waiting for the next gig.
Okay. But
And once
but
you get busy enough,
you were
like
just
the
waiting for that
gigs are
phone to
always
ring.
there.
Uh-huh.
So, I was fortunate by the end of it. Like the gigs were coming in. I think COVID hit, it would have been my biggest year.
Hmm. Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, shouldas.
But I also think like this is an interesting thing that you bring up because I think a lot of people are in that, even if you're an actress, you're doing gigs,
Mhm.
right? So there's not a day job they can go to.
But
and
also,
I think what you're saying is like it's amazing to have both.
right. But
right?
also, it also comes down to, the fact that it's like no matter what happens to you in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have lost their jobs, like shit politically has happened where people
yeah.
have lost, you're not always meant to be in the city you're living in.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to get the fuck out. I mean, I know we all, like, everyone's got to like make adjustments in life.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
Right. Yeah.
But-
And we're lucky because there's so much to do here, right?
Desperation, creates creativity.
It does. You're right.
You know.
And so let's get back now to when you moved back to Spokane because I heard you
Mhm.
moved back to Spokane and
Yeah.
I was so excited. And I was
Me too.
And
when I
I-
saw you.
and again I met you how many years ago? 20 years ago.
Lots, yeah, probably
Lo-
more than 20.
No, 20, yeah, probably 25.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
maybe
probably
30.
25.
Maybe
Could
25.
be probably 30 now because I've been here for
25.
5 years.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I'm 40 wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you?
I am.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I probably look older, but that's okay.
No, you
The
don't.
goal is to always look that same age.
Yeah.
That's what my mom says. But
That's it.
that's what they say. So I went to you because, quite frankly, I'd worked with a lot of salons and they were amazing, and I kind of had
Yeah.
credit there. And I was doing my extensions, and
Yes.
they were all great. And to be honest, I couldn't do it anymore because I was so busy. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I couldn't do the whole.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And I was sort of ready to be done with the thing. And I was like, I got to go to Bradley because I've always loved you, and I was like, I just love your personality, and I was like, if I need to change, I'm going to Bradley. And so I know you don't know this, but the day that I went to you, I got fired from my pickleball team. I did.
Good.
I got fired on the spot. Yeah, this woman came up to me. And first of all, I have no business playing pickleball. I mean, not the sport. I love it. I had no business signing up for the time that I was doing. I was doing on Tuesdays at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was always like 5 to 7 minutes late.
Right.
And
Good.
that pissed a lot of women off.
I know.
It just did.
It's all right.
And I get it. And
They've got nothing to do but pickleball.
sure.
So it's a different deal. right?
Sure. I mean, would they say that? Probably not. I think they would say they're very busy too. And, you know, they got there on time and they
I
made
know.
it a thing.
I always
So,
tell everyone, don't be an overachiever in my chair. Like, don't fucking show up 10 minutes early. It's not going to work out for you.
I hate it when
Don't
people
be
are
an
early.
overachiever because, you
I
know, being
hate
in New
it.
York, if you're 20 minutes late, that's on time. I don't like overachievers. I really don't. Like, just don't. Like, don't show up at the door
Yeah.
at 15 minutes to 9 because
Sure.
I'm not going to show up till 1 minute to 9. And then I'll flip on the lights and we'll get started.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not good like that.
Yeah. And then, so I was, you know, constantly, and then sometimes I was on time and then I was a couple minutes late and whatever. And that particular day, it had
Escalated.
daylight savings time happened.
Yeah, I know.
And I had like stayed up all night to do a project. And I was like, all of a sudden I thought it was like 9, but it was 10. And I thought it was 9:30. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be early. Nope, it was 10:30. And I showed up and it was 45 minutes late. And, you know,
It's concerning to me how important pickleball is to people. Like, they really do. They're hardcore.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
so a lady did, and she said, Erin, I don't think these women are being honest with you. They don't want you here.
Was that before or after I cut your hair off?
Before.
Okay.
They said they're
Right.
not
'Cause
being
this is
honest
what
with you.
happened.
They don't want you here. They don't, you know, and she went on and on. And I was like, and she kept going. Like, she was so angry. And I was just like, okay. Like, there's nothing I could say. You know, I
Are
was
they
like,
your age?
no, they were a little they're older.
Do they work?
No. I mean, I'm sure some of them work.
I mean,
And so I literally started crying in the car.
sorry. I mean, that's hilarious.
I
know. Why?
And I was like, I get it. Like, I get it. I mean, again, I was always like 5 to 7. I was like, that time I was really late. But I'm like, you know, I tried to always happy to be there. Anyways, they apparently, none of them liked me at all, which I understood. And then I came to Bradley and I was like, you know what? Cut it all off.
Cut it the fuck off.
Cut it all off. So I literally sat down.
Dirty.
I literally sat down in your chair and I was like,
Dirty.
you know what, Bradley?
Yeah.
I think let's just do it.
Yeah.
And you go, and what did you say?
But that's exactly what I wanted to do.
You go, you know what? I've been thinking about it.
I have. Time to go. Yeah, I mean, you wore it in a bun. I was like, you're so
Always.
cool looking, like your face structure.
Thank
Just
you.
like, listen, when you want it long, just let me know and I'll order in some shit and we'll like glue it
Sure,
on.
absolutely. We'll glue it on.
It's
Yeah.
easy. Like,
Yeah.
you can have long hair in 5 hours. I'll see to it. It doesn't fucking matter. It's like, just cut that shit off. You know,
Yeah.
you look better with a look than you do with like some dumb. I mean, anybody can have a fucking bun on their head.
I know. And I would just do that all the time.
I know everybody does
Yeah,
it.
I also have spinal stenosis of bad neck
You cannot show that. No.
because my figure skating days. But anyways, I can't do what you do. I can't do the flowy, like amazing hair.
Yeah,
I
but
wish
I really
could.
can't either because the
I wish
problem
I
with
could.
me is I've gotten that like middle-aged sort of like fat dad bod and it's
You do
annoying
not.
because I used to be so thin that the hair just was like kind of good.
Yeah, well, I told
But
you how
I'm
to take
like,
care of that.
I know, and I'm considering it. I am, but I'm
It's
trying
just
to
a
like
shot
really.
away.
I'm trying to. I know it is, and
Yeah.
like even Pam, like we've talked about the goods. You know, just getting that little microdose in there.
Sure.
That just makes you lose weight. I just am trying the last good deed.
Yeah.
I need to get like my testosterone checked and get that like figured out. You know, it's like getting old sucks.
Well, you look good doing it.
I know. Well, that's because of Pam. She kept all the lines off, but the insides are still,
Yeah.
feeling a little sad. You can throw a big fucking sweatshirt on it, but trust me, you're not going to see me on the beach in a Speedo.
Just give it a couple months.
No, I don't even think in a couple of months. I mean, they don't have surgeries for what I need. It's
I
true.
love it. I love it. But you said to me, you're like, let's cut it off. You knew.
Not my dick, my gut. Yeah, that's a different podcast, baby.
I'm talking about my hair.
Oh yeah, your hair. That's right. Sorry. Where's the wine? Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, it was time.
You're like, yeah, it was time. Done deal.
Yeah, it was time.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, we're doing
Yeah,
it.
no, it was true because you've got such a nice straw jawline.
Yes, it's very masculine.
Yeah.
Always has been. That's one thing I had.
It's
always going on.
beautiful though. It's
thank
like
you.
really nice. Like you've aged beautifully,
Oh,
and I
thanks.
just think the long hair, it's great. And like I said, we can make that happen in
Anytime.
a day.
Look at Demi Moore. When I'm 60,
Exactly.
I'm gonna have.
I think when you're 60, that is true. It's gonna just be like and down.
Totally.
And we could even do it gray.
Yes, a lot. So a lot of my friends have always said to me, I have my whole life to wear my hair short, and I say, no, you don't, because you won't have the facial.
You don't have the face.
You have to wear it short when you're younger.
What's your view on cosmetic surgery?
All about it.
Like, what's your plan?
Korea or Turkey.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have a good friend who goes to Korea, and she's doing the thing. But
Have you ever been?
no, I'm going to go this
Korea
summer. I'm
is
going this
crazy
summer. I'm
because
going this summer.
Everyone's like
Yeah.
wears like chin straps because they all get cosmetic surgery
Right.
and they don't hide it. So
Right.
they're out there in the community with like full on. It's the coolest place. It's the Brazil of Asia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about it. Do whatever you want. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I've always been that way, though. But,
Totally.
But just don't look insane.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
a tricky. So
Yeah.
so
And
my
that's hard.
my suggestion on cosmetic surgery, because I would have to say my two favorite cosmetic surgeons are Stephen Levine and Giacano in New
Yes.
York. So they're both Upper
I know,
East
and
Side.
I follow those, and they're insane, amazing.
They do beautiful
But
jobs.
they
They're super
cost like
expensive.
$500,000.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And they should.
quarter.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
But it's but they literally like transfer you back in time.
They do.
And the one thing I can't stand is when doctors are like, well, I just want you to look like you've had some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a bad place because
I want more than that.
I think the worst misconception with cosmetic surgery is that you want something, that is not going to have longevity.
Yeah.
Because especially once you're in like 50 years old, you don't want to have two more.
Right.
You want one and done.
Right. Yeah, no one wants to go under when they're 80.
No, but they do.
Yes, but
But it's not
that's
good.
not the
It's
goal.
not ideal.
That's not the
Right.
goal. Yeah. Maybe no one wants to go under when they're 90. They're like, I think I'm good.
Right.
Right. I'm just going to ride this one out.
No.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. And so, I mean, when we're talking about let's talk about a little bit like hair trends.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know, I know you're just like myself where it's like, it's about the person, right? But what are the trends right now?
Well, trends in hair have been like, I always feel like everything sort of follows fashion, right? But fashion's been kind of like,
It's all over the place.
it's all over
I
the
can't
place.
even
You can't really like find out where it's at. So it really is about the person.
Yeah.
I think it is about their own personal style, who they are, what size they are.
Yeah.
I mean, because we're also, in a situation too where, everybody's body's ebbs and flows
Mm-hmm.
in society now, and it's okay, which is a great thing.
Right.
However, I might not necessarily put your haircut on somebody that size-wise can handle it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily put long, hair
Stuff.
or like big whatevers on somebody that's too small for it.
Right.
It's like you've got to like balance it out because trends are to a situation where it's very specific. It's gotten a little wild out there.
It has.
It's a wild card.
It's a wild card.
I don't really know what to say. I think colors are interesting. I always sort of follow Redken. They are sort of a good. Their color, their shadesy Q line, really follows a color trend really beautifully.
Yeah.
And right now they have this really great M series that's sort of this weird taupe, sort of mauvey taupe color.
Well, I think that'd be pretty.
It's
That'd be
cool.
pretty.
And what I would like to do with you is I'd like to touch up your roots and do some highlights and then sort of back brush those tones through your hair, like a darker root out to a lighter end
Mm-hmm.
and get like some variation in there and get you more of a look
Oh,
in the color, but nothing highlighted.
right.
Like hit the tips, hit some spots to kind of like maybe brighten up in some areas with these like weird sort of M series. They're really
Like a
cool.
highlighted ducktail, is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
Okay.
And a little something in the front, but something that's very sort of like balayage. So you don't have a highlight.
Okay. Yeah.
Very rooted, grown out. It's like maybe just hitting the tips. Like you've been in the beach, but you've got like this sort of Sierra,
Yeah.
toner on it. That's sort of more on the taupe mahogany side. I mean, like what the fuck? I want to do it on you.
Okay, let's
And
do
then
it.
do the roots.
I trust you.
Yeah, I
You know that. You
Yeah.
know that. Anything that Bradley says goes.
Yeah, I think it would just be a fun. I think you're a great, you're a good person for it, and it would be cool. I mean, what do we have to lose?
Well, I've never had tattoos. Actually, I do have one, but that's another
I
story.
don't have any.
Yeah, but when I was 40, and that's another story for another day. But which is a year ago. But I've never gotten tattoos on purpose because I've always changed my hair. And that's
Yeah.
kind of been my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I'm willing to do whatever.
I love it.
So when you go to these celebs now, because you're kind of doing both now, which
Yeah.
is like the ideal thing, like
Yeah.
where do you get your inspiration?
I think people inspire me. So, there's like a real inspiration. I always say like makeup artists inspire me.
Yes.
So a lot of times, I was back in New York last year. I worked with Paloma Faith. She's a singer, very inspirational. She's been a client of mine for years. And everything about her is inspirational. She's fucking amazing. And she's very fashion forward. So, she'll throw a lace front wig at you and you just got to make it work. You're right. And if it doesn't work, she's like, that's not good enough. She's really good about knowing what she wants and you make it happen. You do these cool things and she pushes you. People inspire you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Clothes
Well, you're
inspire
preaching
you,
to the
especially
choir.
because you're
Yeah.
working with, the top of everything and you're working with the best clothing. So the clothes that they're wearing are like top designers pulled from, the racks,
Yeah.
the showrooms. So you're getting first dibs at the best shit.
On all the good stuff.
So it's hard not to be creative.
Yeah, I get it. Well, Bradley, we're going to wrap it up.
I think it's time.
I think it's time because the lights are getting to us and we have more wine to drink with our
I'm a little
friends.
svitzy. And my glass is empty.
Your glass, well, that's the big thing. Well, I love you. Thank
I love
for
you
being
too.
here. And you have
Thanks
to come
for
back.
having me.
You have to
No,
come back.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
was really
Thank
fun.
you.
Yeah.
You're the best. And where can people find you?
Well, I'm right now. They can find me at my
Instagram.
Yeah, at Bradley Irion at
and make an appointment.
BRADLEY.
Now you're gonna have to wait a while, just saying, but it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, it is. It is a wait, but it'll be worth it.
It will be worth
Yeah.
it. Mwah. You're
Love
the
you.
best.
Thank you.
Read the Room is brought to you by Design for the People, a full-service design studio and furniture boutique. To learn more, visit www.designfortheppl.com.